former Eric Kratz teammate in the minors, rocking the backwards hat a little bit too. I love that. John, how you doing? Great to have you on.
Doing well, thank you, guys. I've been trying to get in touch with Kratzy for it feels like months now. So finally getting back to you, buddy. Sorry, it's been forever.
This is how I wanted to get back to you. We tried calling, but you're always in meetings. I'd rather FaceTime. I mean, if we're going to take time to look at glorious hair and just everything about this guy is coiffed and ready to go. Like that hair is perfect. It's lined up. Do you get in the way of the other guys when the Dominican barber comes in to get that stuff lined up on your face?
I'm usually first in line, when he's in town. But a lot of it is me, Kratzy. During the year, a lot of it is just me. But every 10 days or so, I get a nice little tune-up.
I love that. I'm sure you will. But the guy's got some burning questions for you. Okay, this is a very serious show. We're only talking about serious things. So I'm going to have a serious question before anybody comes on here. Okay, you were my first roommate. Okay. I've talked endlessly about your swag. We'll probably get into it. But the only thing I really care about, are you a better hitter? You have to choose one. Are you a better hitter or manager than our buddy Jace Tingler?
Ooh, wow. Great question. I would say I'm a better hitter than nobody. So if I have to be a better manager than Ting, I'll take that. I haven't screwed anything up this spring so far, so that's a good thing. Just saw Ting yesterday. Twins were in town, but I got to go manager just because I was that bad of a hitter.
He raked. But that's my other question. You need to tell the boys, and then we'll get into the realness of it. What did you do in your last professional at-bat?
Great story. Okay, so I'm 28 years old, playing in minor league spring training games down in St. Pete. We're playing the Rays, or the Devil Rays at the time. Had the coaching opportunity offered to me about a week before from Dick Scott, our farm director. So told the manager at the time, if I go deep, you need to have a backup catcher ready. I'm done. So sure enough, second at bat, I go deep, went into the dugout, literally took off my spikes and hung them up on the chain link fence of field 9 we were playing on, and then coached first the next inning. So for as bad as I was, ended it on a good note.
Yes, you did.
I appreciate that. That's a good way to go out, John. Like Kratzy said, listen, this is all serious here. So this is a serious question. Would you ever, please, and this is for me and Scott and I's sanity, would you ever think about hiring Kratz to get him off the show so we don't have to deal with him on a daily basis?
I mean, for you guys, yeah, definitely. But if not for you, then yeah, I think a guy like him with his experiences and how many years you play Kratzy? Like 30?
It was a lot. I think it was 19. We got to go to the ticker though. It was 19.
I remember you playing first base against us when you were at the Yanks during the pandemic. It was like, holy cow, where are we right now? Why is Kratzy at first at a big league game, and why are we playing in Buffalo? Yeah, I would hire Kratzy. I think that would work for everyone. Get him away from you guys, and I'd love to bring him on for sure.
What position? Bench coach? Like we talking like bullpen coach, bullpen catcher maybe?
Well, do you do Mattingly Kratz?
Yeah.
Tough. It's like right there. Basically the same guy.
Same level of Yankee.
Mystique.
Careers. Yeah, Mystique.
Yeah. Are you in Monument Park yet?
Well, all the guys in Monument Park didn't let me in Monument Park because my batting average as a Yankee is higher than all of them. So it's just, Schneider, you make me blush.
I would start Kratzy in the pen, bullpen coach with the
as far away as possible.
Exactly.
Okay, I appreciate that. I will learn under your tutelage, just like I learned under your tutelage when we got drafted. You were the 13th rounder. I like to say you were 13th overall, and I was 29th overall. It's a lot easier that way. And look who's still around. Look who's still around in the game from that draft. You.
Still tricking them. Still tricking them.
First and 15th. You got your rag over your face.
Yeah, it's actually it's pretty cool to Man, 2002 we get drafted. You were snoring next to me in the Red Roof Inn, and here I am all these years later. I'm managing the big club. It's pretty cool.
So cool. I'm proud of you, bud.
Thanks, man.
Hey, John, now that we're done, with the Kratz memories, and how he snored and all, all kumbaya, Hakuna Matata, whatever you want to say. What's your style managing? Obviously, you took over in the middle of last year for Montoya, got off, went to the playoffs, did a great job. Like, every manager says, well, I'm a player's manager, but
right.
What's your style? Who taught you your ways? Like, what's your thing? Every manager has to have a thing. What's your thing?
I think my thing is, I have relationships with a lot of the guys that date back to the minor leagues here. Bo, Vlad, Biggio, Jano, Romano, Meza. My style is, I try to evolve around your personnel. I like being aggressive and I like having fun. So, baseball's too hard and the season's too long to not have fun. But I think right now we're at the point where it's like, okay, what do we need to do to get better? And it's just being a little bit more attentive to detail. We've had talent on paper the last couple of years and we've won a lot of games. And, I think just getting us over the hump here is just being a little bit more attentive to detail, whether it's defense, at bats, things like that. Just kind of an overall mentality. We brought in some guys that kind of live that, some veteran guys. But, my style is to try to evolve around them, but also just kind of being constantly on them about little things.
John, take us through the offseason. I mean, how involved are you on conversations? And then what did you think of what the Blue Jays did?
Pretty involved. My kids were joking that, my phone was always saying Ross Atkins calling. But it's cool. It's, you're always offering your insights and kind of see how you want to round out the roster. I think what we did, the additions we made, really kind of fit that mentality of gamers. We were almost viewed, I think, almost as like the fun team with the dancing in the dugout and the home run jacket and things like that. So I think you'll see it be a little bit different. Guys like Dalton Varsho, who's just a gamer. Chris Bassett is a bulldog. Kevin Kiermaier just never stops running. It's been a cool mix of guys that came in that were mixing together with guys that we already have. So it's I loved what we did. Run prevention was something that we were really trying to improve, and not be so one-dimensional as an offensive club. So getting Eric Swanson in at the back of the bullpen helps as well. So it's I was really happy with it, and I think our lineup is much more balanced. I forgot Brandon Belt too. He's here. He's going to start playing soon. So I think just the right-left balance is better. Kind of the personality of the team has changed for the better.
You said about starting to play soon. How's Vladdy doing? Not being able to, he's still playing some, right? If I'm correct, he's still playing a little bit. Is he pissed that he's not going to WBC? And did you need to be the one to break that to
him? He's pissed. Yeah, he's doing well. He's going to hit live BP tomorrow. He's running around, moving around really well. He'll be back in there pretty soon, I think. He actually brought it up to us, for as much as he wanted to play and being a big part of that Dominican team. I think he brought the conversation to us saying, okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm healthy and worry about the Jays more so than the DR. So yeah, he was frustrated, but I think, understands what's in front of him this year and how much of a huge piece he is for us getting to where we want to go. So the conversation was great. He's doing better every day. So yeah, we were frustrated for him, but we know he's doing the right thing.
John, what did you think of Vladdy's season last year? Of course, he was still a star, but he wasn't as good numbers-wise as the year before. Like, when you talked to him, did he say, I should be better?
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever he hit, 275 with 30-something and about 100, he kind of looked at it like a down year. And, coming off of the monster year in 21, I think he feels like he didn't live up to expectations. But part of that is the league adjusting to him a little bit, and I think him, adjusting back this year is going to be a big part of it. But yeah, he's been on a mission. I know it's easy to say, it's like the best shape of your life spring training story, but he's been focused in a different way than I've ever seen him, dating back to when I knew him as a teenager. So he's in a really good spot, and he's looking to kind of expand on what he did in 2021 and hopefully be a little bit better.
Maybe you need to throw BP to him or the home run derby to him again and get him back locked in.
I know, right? He's been joking about it already in camp. He said, "I'm doing it this year." I was like, "Great, no All-Star break for me." But
Selfish.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I would love to do that again. I think he would hit 100 instead of 90, whatever he hit last time.
So John, before we do these interviews every day, you Google the person you're bringing on, and you kind of get into their Wikipedia. The problem is when you Google John Schneider, the Dukes of Hazzard guy comes up, right? So I'm like, wait a minute, this is the wrong John. Then I have to type in John Schneider baseball. So, like when you check into a hotel, has anyone thought you were pulling up in the general league or anything?
I know, right? I've gotten that from like all the way back when I played, where they got the Dukes of Hazzard theme playing when I'm coming to the plate. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get a little bit more popular than Bo Duke. Hopefully, I can stick around long enough to be the first Google search rather than the actor or the Seahawks general manager. So I'm working on that.
Hey, John, if you went into the clubhouse right now and you said, "Raise your hand if you know what Dukes of Hazzard is," to your entire team of players, not one hand would go up, correct?
No, none. Zippo. I mean,
come on, somebody would know.
No.
Kevin Gosman doesn't know what the Dukes of Hazzard is?
Gauzy maybe, or Brandon Belt or Bassett. They'd be all over it. But
Brandon Belt.
Okay, so 2 out of 40 in the clubhouse right now?
Maybe three.
Maybe three.
Yeah. That was one of the funny things. So Schneider led the league. We didn't play a ton because he was always just like a step above me. And then we would like shift. He would go to AAA, I'd go to AA, I'd go to high A, he'd go to AA. That was, so we got to play together, but I'd always hear nobody led the leagues that he played in more with visiting team walk-up music than John Schneider. John Schneider would come in and you would just hear, "It's the good old boys." And he was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
He'd drag that 271 to the plate, kick it up, throw it on his shoulder,
strike out on 3 pitches,
give the ladies what they want, and give the boys a homer.
Yeah, 1 out of every 35 at bats.
Hey, I saw some deep flies. You spent some time on the Phantom DL. Don't get it tricked. You're a grinder. At some point, people are going to know on this show what a real grinder is, and you were and still are a grinder. You're always part of the grinder club.
I appreciate that. Those backup minor league catchers, I think, kind of have to be grinders, where you're catching the 10:30 school game and wearing an 0 for 4. You kind of get used to it.
Hey, John, I got one more for you about the young sizzling Blue Jays that you've managed in the minor leagues and now up in the bigs. Bo Bichette took off. And it's been months now, so I feel like people need to be reminded. Maybe best player in baseball in the month of September was Bo Bichette. So I'd like to give you at least some credit for that. I know you made some lineup tweaks too. So what did you think of Bo then? Can we see that for a full season? Where's he looking in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, that was like the best version of Bo that I've ever seen. That month of September, it was pretty ridiculous. But I think where he is now, he's wanting to build off of that, and that's what he can do. And I think him learning to just be consistent with it. His approach has kind of evolved a little bit. Free swinger the first couple of years, he's still very aggressive, but I think understanding how teams are going to pitch him and putting himself into pretty good counts. So that's kind of where he landed last year. We're hoping he just picks up where he left off. Right now, everything he's doing looks great. But lineup stuff, it's with this lineup, I mean, you can really do it a lot of different ways, with George at the top, and you could do Bo 2, Vlad 3. You could do Vlad 2, Belt 3, Bo 4. He's comfortable in the 2-hole. I like him there as long as he's, working at bats and things like that. But you want him up late in the game. There's that hit factor, not just an on-base factor. You're facing those leverage dudes in the pen late. Bo's going to put together an at-bat like not many other guys can. So he's in a great spot. And it really just, if he could do a little bit of what he did in September, it's huge for us.
That's awesome. You, as your future bullpen coach, which if you offer me a bullpen job, I'm not doing it because I'm not standing out there. Although you guys have a new bullpen out in Toronto, I forgot about that.
Nice.
But
nice.
My first piece of advice is when you go on a show, don't have your depth chart over your right shoulder so we know who's making the team and who's not.
Not the depth chart. That is everyone in camp. and it lines up. It lines up over
There's
here.
Kids.
It lines up with lineups for the week.
Look at you.
There are no secrets being revealed right now.
Your show. But some minor league kid is zooming in on that. They're pausing it and they're zooming in to try to figure out if they got a shot at going to Double-A. No, I want to talk about Grayson and Gunnar. What do they think of their big league dad? Do they get it? Do they, does Jesse bring them up, or are they living in the six? What's that like?
It's awesome. Thank you for bringing them up. They're 6-4. Gunnar, the 6-year-old, thinks that he's part of the team. Basically, just is in there all the time. Grayson is kind of along for the ride right now, but they come up in the summertime when school is done. They stay up there for a couple of months with Jesse, and it's really cool. It hasn't really hit me yet that this, the every day in the clubhouse, the big leagues is kind of their norm. Which is something that I'm trying to really take advantage of too. But they, they got all the gear. They got Blue Jays, hats, lizard skins, helmets, all the stuff. And it's cool for them to walk in and kind of give a fist bump to George, Vlad, Bo. The guys are great with them. They love it. So it's cool having them around. They kind of keep me grounded, and they get me off the ledge sometimes on some rough games. So it's really cool that they're there.
They've got show names too. Actually, two of the biggest prospects in baseball: Grayson Rodriguez, Gunnar Henderson, both on the Orioles. Right. So they'll probably like the Jays-Orioles games.
I know.
Do they think Dad's a hero? I'm not talking about your job. I'm talking about what you did. What was it? A couple weeks ago, saving a woman in a restaurant from choking. You know the Heimlich?
Apparently, I know the Heimlich. I mean, it was like the weirdest thing. We're sitting there having lunch, just me and Jess, and this lady's choking and no one's doing anything. So I kind of wander over. I'm like, hey, can I help? They're like, yeah, please do. And did what I kind of remembered I learned in school way back when. And it wasn't that eventful. It wasn't like, it was a piece of shrimp. It wasn't like it flew out of her mouth, but definitely helped. And I was probably more rattled than the lady was. I was like, what the hell? What just happened? But yeah, they think, I don't know, they think I'm a better manager than I am, paramedic right now. But that was weird. Right place, right time. Glad I could help out. I got a beer on the house, so made it a little bit better.
I knew you were life-saving because a lot in the minor leagues, I'm gonna reveal it quick. I'm wearing a Doubleday hat just for you.
I was gonna ask what that was. I saw the minor league logo. You went Dennis Doubleday hat
anyway. But during those times, you were a single guy. I saw you doing a lot of mouth to mouth. So I know that you're a big.
Oh my God.
You're a big.
For the jugular. I love it. Hey, man, I was 20-something. You know what I mean? I was 20-something. I thought I was cool getting paid to play baseball.
You were cool. Wow.
Kratzy, I thought it was like you said, for his walk-up, the song plays, throws the bat over his shoulder. Let me save this person here. Excuse me, everyone step aside. I know the Heimlich.
He definitely sauntered over there. He definitely didn't get any shrimp on the Jays that he was wearing, because I know he wasn't going out to dinner with his wife without some Jays on, or maybe some old circa 2010 Cole Haans.
No, they were definitely Jordans. I'm trying my best. If you know anyone at Jordan, to get me some kind of deal. So if you guys can pass the word, big fan of the Jordan.
AJ's our guy. He knows everybody. If Michael Jordan lives in Orlando, he's our guy.
He lives in Jupiter. I'm not gonna name drop, but he does live in Jupiter.
Do it. We're helping out Schneid.
Yeah, you've played at his course, no?
I might be a member there.
Might be a member. Okay, John.
Okay.
Jordan's in the mail. Jordan's in the mail.
Size 13. Just saying.
Size black.
So John, two things and I'm done. One, about your kids, Gunnar and Grayson. My son, I was fortunate enough to play long enough to where my son and daughter were old enough. I knew it was time for my daughter to go out when she would come out and tell my wife that, hey, the boys are naked. And then my wife's like, okay, no more. She realized that. But then my son, when I was with the Braves at the end of my career, we had Freddie Freeman, Jeff Francoeur, and he'd go in and he'd shag the whole time. He'd come in, he'd have to take a shower to go watch the game. And they'd be like, oh, show shower. And he would get so embarrassed. And he'd walk, he'd have a towel wrapped around him. He'd come walking through. And the boys would just wear him out. They're like, look at your hair, like Scotty Braun, show hair. Now you got to go take your show shower. Have your kids gotten to that point yet where they're like, the boys can tease them?
Yeah, Gunner especially. There may or may not have been a post-game celebration last year when Gun Show was going no shirt, running through the clubhouse, holding a flag. May or may not have happened, but he's getting to that point to where he thinks that it's all fun and games, and let me throw in 5 pieces of gum and look like a big leaguer, and let me go out in the field and play catch and things like that. He's getting there. I gotta keep him humble every now and then, though.
So, John, when you and then you have Don Mattingly right on your staff, and he was probably one of my favorites growing up for sure because I was kind of in that sweet spot, right? And what's it like having him around? Were you like in the interview process and you're sitting across the table and you're like, man, I've got Don Mattingly sitting across from me. How in the world am I going to ask him a question about baseball that I know that he doesn't?
Yeah, it was cool. I grew up watching him, being from New Jersey and kind of being a Yankee fan, and I still give him some crap about that. But it was a really unique opportunity to where we had a chance to get to know each other. He wanted to kind of do this role more so. He wanted to kind of step back from managing. And initially some people were like, "Hey, you sure you want to bring this dude in? 12 years manager, your first year?" And I'm like, "I'm not that way at all." He told me if I got fired after opening day, he wouldn't want the interim job. So it's to have that experience, those experiences, that skill set. I think our players kind of needed that. As much as he helped me and the staff, he's a great sounding board for the players when you're talking about hitting or game situations. He's been great with Vladdy at first base, kind of teaching them some ins and outs. So really unique opportunity. And as we got talking, it was kind of just we were very similar in our thoughts about lineup construction, player deployment, game strategy. I pick his brain on things, he picks my brain on things, which sounds funny, but I think it's a pretty good yin and yang with my style and what his background is. And really looking forward to having him on one side, Pete Walker on the other. Those conversations in game are going to be fun.
Schneids, we're going to let you go, bud. I'm going to end this. Obviously, we've been joking a lot. I couldn't be more proud of you, bud. Like, seriously, like, to see you grind through the minor leagues, like, we didn't even really get into it. I hope we get into it more, but I am so proud of you. The only thing I need from you is to switch that TV in the back to some FT Live when the boys are on, okay? Every day, Monday to Friday, 11 to 1 Eastern time. We are international. We'll go on like it's youtube.ca maybe. I don't know what it is in Canada. It's
about it's $3.99 internationally.
And it's free. Subscribe and tell the boys in the locker room they can come on anytime they want. Yuck it up with the fellas.
Perfect.
But we're definitely going to have you back on. Best of luck. I love watching you out there grinding it out in the East.
Thank you, Kratzy. I appreciate it. It's I feel this sounds corny. I feel very fortunate to have this opportunity with 22 years with one organization. But I appreciate you saying it, man. Love what you've done in your career and AJ too. And I'm sure you guys are going to kill it on this show too. So thank you very much, man. It means a lot.
Thanks, Schneids. This was awesome. Really great for people to get to know you like this too, internationally. Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you down the line. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.